Hello, and thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. My name is Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker of affordable homes and apartments. I'm also licensed to preach and ordained as a minister. For information on my real estate books and services, you can go to my new website at affordablehomesandapartments.net. And for information on my religious books and books and services, you can go to my religious website at highwaytoheavenchurch.org. That's the new website. And I want to thank you for joining me today. And my name is Sylvia Black, and I am your host. Now, last week I talked to you a little bit about my book, Help for Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home. This is available on affordablehomesandapartments.net, or you can go directly to lulu.com. Now, this book talks to you about the steps that you need to take to help save your home from foreclosure, as well as what to look for in terms of when somebody's trying to run a scam on you, loan modification scams and fraudulent, different things like that. And again, this is a Help for Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home, and it's available on lulu.com, or you can go to affordablehomesandapartments.net. You can also view this video in its entirety on my YouTube address and on my website at affordablehomesandapartments.net, and also youtube.com at my address of sblack3001. If you want to email me at sblack3001 at affordablehomesandapartments.net or sblack3001 at gmail.com, or for my religious websites and services, you can email me at sblack at highwaytoheavenchurch.org or sblack3001 at gmail.com. You can call us at 716-602-7213, and I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. And again, Help for Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home talks to homeowners that are facing foreclosure and don't know what to do to help save your home from foreclosure. Now, thank you for joining me today, and my name is Sylvia Black. Now, a mortgage company, when we think of a person as running a scam on you, we think of an individual coming knocking on your door and saying, and handing you a flyer or a piece of paper, maybe harassing you, trying to take your home away from you, so to speak. We think of an individual or maybe a group of individuals. Well, I talked to you in this book about, people who pose as lawyers. Lawyers, actually real law firms that actually posing, as, lawyers trying to help you save your home, but these individuals are not actually trying to help you save your home. All they're trying to do is put money in their pocket by scamming you out of your home. And the sooner and the faster they get you to sign your home over to them, the better off they will be. Now, today I want to talk to you about a different kind of a scam that has been going on. And this involves actual real law firms who actually process mortgage foreclosures, and mortgage companies who actually claim to be helping you but actually don't help you. Now, just recently I noticed that, okay, I don't want to skip around. Okay, now, do you think that the banks owe you money? Have you been contacted about a foreclosure settlement? If you have, please send your story to me at sblack3001 at gmail.com, and we will get it to where it needs to go so that it can be publicized. Now, a home is one of the biggest investments that a family will make. People start businesses with the equity in their home. Now, as a licensed real estate broker, I'm going to keep fighting for you as a homeowner and for you as a tenant also. Okay? Now, the American dream of owning a home is quickly turning into a nightmare. Okay? Families are being put out of their homes without finding out whether families are being forced to buy homes without knowing whether this is the right move for them or not. As a result, foreclosure occurs in millions of Americans across the globe, and Canadians as well. Interest rates soaring at an all-time high, and even when the homeowner wants to save their home and does all the right things in a timely manner, mortgage companies, banks, and lawyers are not doing their job to keep the homeowner from losing their home. Mistakes are made and they're blamed on a clerical error. Why does the little guy have to suffer? Home buyers need to be protected and have a simple set of laws written up that the home buyer can understand, so that the house does not foreclose. Okay, and when the homeowner needs help, they ask for help and do all the right things to get the help they need, but then they're given the runaround. Okay, and end up getting foreclosed upon anyway. Some people are, these are not deadbeat homeowners. These are homeowners that, pay their bills every month. that hold on and maintain the job every day of their life, with the exception of vacation. You know, some people don't even take a vacation. These homeowners are not deadbeat homeowners. And I'm sure you're not a deadbeat homeowner. You might be one of the ones that I'm talking about here. That you pay your bills every month. You know, you're religious in paying your bills. And then for an unfortunate circumstance, a one-time thing that happens, and then all of a sudden you're unable to pay your mortgage, and then you ask for help. And then you end up getting foreclosed upon anyway, and you're running around frantic. Okay? Now, foreclosure rates have surged by 35% in 2009 and are quickly rising today. 1 in every 38 homes have received a foreclosure notice. And foreclosure relief scams are spreading like wildfire all over the place. In New York, in Nevada, in Arizona, everywhere you turn. Now, Arizona, now, for example, I'm going to give you, which I found a story, this particular law firm called Fine, Such and Crane, they got slammed by Judge Arthur Shack in Brooklyn, New York, back in 2012. A bunch of petty thieves who fabricate an assembly line of foreclosure fraud, procured by obtaining forged documents that knowingly and maliciously create a fictitious appearance of standing in order to sue. In other words, you have people that actually are hired to go into a closed room and sign documents all day long. They're posing as an executive of the firm. They're posing as someone who has the authority to foreclose upon. But in reality, they're just a shadow. I call them a robo-signer, like RoboCop. They're robo-signer. They don't have the authority to foreclose. They don't have the authority to sign anything. And a lot of times, if you look closely at your documents that you got in the mail that says that you have missed a payment or whatever the reason is, and now your house is in foreclosure, you need to look closely at that signature that's on that letter that you received, or that document, whatever it is that you got, and call the company whose name and which appears on that letter and find out who this individual is. Do some homework on your own. Because a lot of times, like I said, we've been thinking of a scammer as one person coming to your door, knocking on your door. But let me tell you, honey, foreclosure scams have spread much further than that. Okay, they're involving banks, they're involving lawyers, okay, and you know, they make mistakes. Whether they do it on purpose or not, this is another story. You know, we all know in the past that banks are not necessarily in the business of owning homes. The bank itself, you know. But the people who work for the bank, now what is their job and their responsibility? Are they actually here to help you and I as a homeowner save our home from foreclosure? Or are they in it for the money? Okay, now that's a question that you have to ask yourself. So if you got a letter in the mail saying that your house is being foreclosed upon, you need to call that company where that letter came from and find out who that person is that signed that letter. Because you can initiate a court action yourself. You don't have to wait for them to take you to court. As the commercial says, they have lawyers working hard on their side. And so should you. Okay? A story that I told you a little while back. And again, we're talking about my book, Helpful Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home, available on Lulu.com. Okay, I told you a story a while back that I was managing this property right across the street from Canisius College. Now, you know that the properties that's near the college is a hot item because they house college students and they get twice the rent. If you don't know that, contact Affordable Homes and we can help you get the maximum rent that you want to get out of that property. Now, this was a two-family house. This house was big. And if I was smart, I'd have took occupancy in it myself and paid the rent to the landlord, you know, that I was managing the building. I mean, I had rights to it. There was a letter that said that that house had been foreclosed upon. I contacted the bank, and the bank said, yes, the house was foreclosed. I found out when the procedure had began, and it had just been like 6 months, so we still had time. For your information, a foreclosure takes 12 months to actually go to, finalization, and then you have to get a letter signed by a judge, even when there's a court date for you to go for the sale. You can still buy yourself some time, and I can show you how to do that, and it's in my book also. Helpful Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home. You know, even if there's a marshal at your door, you can still ask for time. But the main thing is, for us homeowners, to look at those documents that are being signed by a lot of times, you know, maybe not even by legitimate people who have the authority to even foreclose on you in the first place. Now, this house was 6 months into foreclosure. I guess that people thought that, you know, this house wasn't, you know, nobody wasn't paying attention to it. And this particular, I had got it rented out before I even had it renovated. That's how good I am at what I do. Okay? And this particular guy from Safe Locks, I believe it was Safeco or something like that. I can't think of the name, but they were based out of Cleveland, Ohio. And I caught him coming out. He was stepping, you know, doing a little tiny step. And when he saw me get out my car, he did the dip step, you know. And I'm like, you know, excuse me, what are you doing? You know, he's like, before closing upon the property. I said, no, you're not. I said, this foreclosure just began 6 months ago. I said, it hasn't even been 12 months yet. I said, what are you doing? I said, take the lock off the door. I don't have nothing to do with that. Here's a card to the company, you know, because he claimed it. Of course, he wasn't claiming responsibility. So I contacted the company and I threatened to sue him. I said, if you don't remove that lock from off of that door, I said, I'm going to take you and the company that you represent, I'm going to take you to court and sue you. And I could have done so. Property was not mine. So I didn't have really no authority to really sue. As a property manager, however, I could have done so, but I would have had to initiate the services of a lawyer, and the owner would have had to sign, and you know, the owner really didn't act like he really cared about the property, like he really wanted to save it. I should have told him to sign it over to me, and then I would have taken care of it. I got a couple of investors that wanted to buy it, but then the bank said, no, we want twice as much as the investors were offering. And I told these investors, let me see some money. I have a contract for you to fill out and sign, and let me see some dollars, baby. And that money talks and everything else walk. Because you say you want to offer some money, that's not going to make anybody move any faster. But if you show them that you have a check, yes, we could have done a short sale. You could have had that house for $40,000. I could have made my commission. So what happened was, I got a letter, a phone call about a week or two later from the headquarters in Cleveland, Ohio, and they said, oh, we no longer need to manage the property. So they changed the lock. I think they put my original lock back on there, but I was able to get in. First of all, that's an illegal lockout. That's a open and shut case right then and there. Illegal lockout. And then you're going to foreclose on somebody before you have the authority to foreclose. That's illegal. Okay, you can be sued for that. We could have got a lot of money from them. Okay, question is, who would the money have went to? Me as a property manager or the homeowner? Okay. So these are the types of things that we're, you know, trying to let you know to look out for, because, you know, in the past we've been thinking of scammers as somebody knocking on your door. But these scammers are actually people who are actually typing up and signing these letters. Okay? Now, the corrupt judges who are in their pockets facilitate the assembly line of the fraudulent foreclosure case, in turn being major contributors to the destruction of the financial system in America. Yet in Brooklyn, New York, Judge Arthur Schack actually administers law and brings justice to these domestic financial terrorists that plague the country. Okay? Now, Fine, Such and Crane, LLP, okay, once again caught by the people of America using robo-signers, which are document signers by fictitious entities working at lender processing services in Minnesota and impersonating offices of mortgage electronic registration systems, MERS. Now, the scary part of the MERS, it has no authority to assign anything more than a ham sandwich, okay, as they do not own or possess any mortgage and notes in order to do so. Okay, what LPS does is fabricate these forged documents, lacking the power of attorneys assigning the mortgage to the plaintiff and not the note. Clear proof and paper trails that firms like Fine are involved in a major scheme to defraud homeowners of their lawful rights to the home that they own. Firms like Fine buy these documents from LPS in order to have an assembly line of fraudulent lawsuits moving along, which have no lawful basis as they represent plaintiffs who do not have the authority to sue. You see, so you need to check those documents and see what's the name on that document that was signed that says that this foreclosure proceeding is initiated, especially if you are more familiar with your financial situation than anybody else and you've been paying your mortgage religiously over the years. Maybe you may have missed a payment or two, but keep in mind it takes 12 months to foreclose. And if someone does not have the authority to sign a document, then they don't have the authority to sue. And they can't have the authority to foreclose. If you go through with the procedure and the judge doesn't know anything about it, they will actually render a legal judgment against you for foreclosure based on fraudulent documents. Okay? Now, Judge Arthur Schack suggests that the firm attorneys should be sanctioned. Okay? Think about this. If IndyMac didn't exist, then who were the ringleaders of the crime? The mortgage servicer, which is a mere debt collector who commits perjury in an affidavit in order for the law firm to execute the crimes. Okay? my personal opinion is that the bank, this article was taken from King George the Ninth, back in October 2012. Okay, his personal opinion is that the bank is handing these firms large lists of homes that they wish to illegally foreclose on. Firms like Fine, Such and Crane order these forged, fabricated documents from LPS, the return address to send the forged documents back to the law firms themselves, printed right on the assignments. Now, how dumb can these mind midgets be as you leave a paper trail, okay, as to how to help, leave a paper trail, as to how to help the lender from a loan modification the bank threatened to foreclose. I mean, these are legal law firms. These are law firms that have a legal license to operate. And you're going to leave a paper trail that shows that you are committing perjury. See, they're thinking that you're not listening to this broadcast, that you don't know your rights as a homeowner, okay? But we know better. Okay, now Arizona, for example, is being hit hardest on forged documents, and nobody has been prosecuted. According to the ABC 15 investigators, one mother has been fighting for 4 years, and every time she comes home, she's afraid that a lock might be on her door. Okay, illegally being locked out of her beautiful, luxurious home. She never missed a payment, and after she asked for a loan modification to help from a lender for a loan modification, the bank threatened to foreclose. Isn't that amazing? You go to them and you ask for help, and now they're ready to threaten you. Oh, you come to us for help? Oh, no, well, let's take the home away from you then. You know what I mean? When she looked closely at her documents, she discovered the signature of Linda Green. So look closely at your documents, ladies and gentlemen, if you're facing foreclosure, and let me know if the signature of Linda Green is on there. Okay, Linda Green is an employee of the company called DocX. Okay, Linda Green's signature was forged on tens of thousands of documents across the country. Her name was signed as if she was an executive of dozens of different banks. She wasn't. She became known as a robo-scammer. Look at your foreclosure documents and holler at a sister if you see Linda Green's signature on there, or any other signature that you think is a fraud. Call the bank, ask to speak to the person who signed the foreclosure documents, and if they don't work there, then I need to hear from you. This type of action is enough to discourage anybody from owning a home. These victims were ripping off innocent victims from their home and leaving the homeowner helpless. Leaving the homeowner to feel like you failed yourself and you failed your children. Some people even commit suicide. Some people, that changes their life forever in a negative way. And God forbid if the IRS should ever come after you. You got problems of your own. Here you as a homeowner, and you think now you got something to leave your children. And then now you're a legal scammer. Not only are they knocking on your door trying to take your home from you, but now you got banks and lawyers that have people who actually signed fictitious and forged documents to take your home away from you. And then when you go to the foreclosure sale, you might have 5 or 6 different banks coming there to claim that they own the home. And nobody knows who owns the home, because the judge is not being made aware of these scams that are going on. Okay, now these records are used in court to foreclose and push people out of their homes. Okay, the documents are illegal, but you're being legally ousted out of your home from an illegal document. Okay, now these homeowners are in court fighting foreclosure based on forged documents. These homeowners are not deadbeats. These homeowners paid their mortgage faithfully, and still someone was able to take their home away by forging documents. When they asked for a loan modification, they were told to stop paying for 3 months, and when they went back to the bank after 3 months, the bank said it was too late and they foreclosed on the property. DocX agreed to pay more than $100 million in national settlement and agreed to stop creating bogus documents. The Attorney General joined in the settlement in Arizona and used some of the money for relief for some homeowners in Arizona. But many banks lined up in court to say that they own the house, and the homeowner didn't even know who owned the home. Isn't that amazing? We need to be educated really bad. We need to really look at our documents, and it's very important. Like the commercial says, and I'll say it again, they have lawyers working hard on their side, and so should we. Foreclosure is not just about the little man coming knocking on your door harassing you. Okay, this information is made public. What is held secret nowadays? You got your license, your address on your license. People know your name, your address, your date of birth, your social security number. And you got all of these scammers. I was just told about a Google scam. But that I know every time I would sign into my Google account, it would take me to another screen that would ask me to provide my information. And every time I go into the computer, it's like I want to do what I want to do when I'm on the computer. You know, I don't want this computer telling me what I want, what they want me to do. So I would bypass it for that reason. And I said, man, I'm not filling out no information. I just come in and sign in. You know what I mean? Find out that's a scam. If you have a Google account or a Gmail, and you sign into your Gmail account and it takes you to another screen that tells you to fill out your information, don't fill out your information, okay? If you go to them and whatnot, I know who you are, but you come to me, it's like sometimes you're looking for a job and they might send you an email. Oh, somebody, Rogers, is looking for an administrative assistant or somebody, you know, just give me your name, address, social security number, date of birth, address, and all of this here. No, I'm not doing that because I don't know who you are. I know who you say you are, but I don't know who you are. Okay, and we're talking about, my name is Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker with affordable homes and apartments, and I'm talking about my book, Help for Homeowners Facing the Loss of Your Home. Now, I know that I'm probably going to publish a revised edition to include a lot of this information that I'm finding on the internet. Foreclosure is a big business. Now, to let you know, just recently, well, back in 2012 actually, it was a $26 billion foreclosure settlement. Okay. This is a CNN Money article. The $26 billion foreclosure settlement has finally been given the green light, making it possible for roughly 2 million of the nation's hardest hit borrowers to see a significant reduction in their mortgage payments. You know, later for that, I want the check. Give me the cash, you know. Now, agreed to between the nation's 5 largest bank and attorneys generals from 49 states and the District of Columbia, the deal settled charges of foreclosure processing abuses dating back in 2008. Now, under the settlement, which was approved by a federal judge that Thursday, the banks will reduce the principal on loans held by underwater homeowners, refinance some mortgages in today's low interest rates, and compensate those who lost their homes due to improper foreclosure practices. The banks also agreed to change the way they handle the approved foreclosures. Okay, the group of state attorneys general claimed that banks lost important paperwork, cut corners, and enlisted robo-signers to attest to facts they had no knowledge of on hundreds of documents a day. The settlement, the details of which were first announced in early February, okay, has been in the works for more than a year. Here's what the banks agreed to and what borrowers can expect in the days ahead. Okay, what did the mortgage lenders and loan servicers agree to? The banks and servicers have committed at least $17 billion to reduce principal to borrowers who, number one, owe far more than their homes are worth, 2, are behind on payments. The amount of principal reduction will average about $20,000 per borrower. In the cases